And welcome back to the Constitutionals episode. Welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. 251, meant to record this 4 weeks ago. But sometimes life gets busy and you forget. Or it doesn't get busy. And that's the truth. What's going on? Well, I just came back. I like 2 hours ago came back from seeing the movie Infinity Pool, starring Alexander Skarsgård, Cleopatra Coleman, who should have second ranking in that movie, and Cleopatra. Wait, Cleopatra won't say that right? And Mia Goth, Shia LaBeouf's wife, I guess. I thought she was what's his name? Ewan McGregor. I thought that was Ewan McGregor's daughter, but it's not. That Mia Goth is some woman. Just some woman who's acting, doing the best. Who's Ewan McGregor's daughter? Or am I thinking of? Oh, not Ewan McGregor. Who's the one that was in Jane Bird? What was that show called? We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna figure this out. Not Jeff Bridges, white guy, beard. Not Ewan McGregor. The other one who looks like Ewan McGregor. Ethan Hawke. There we go. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's daughter is Maya Hawke. Correct. I am very correct. I thought Mia Goth and Maya Hawke were the same person, but they're not. Roughly the same age is what they are. Also, Maya Hawke was in Stranger Things. She was in Do Revenge, Little Women, Fear Street, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Anyway, go see Infinity Pool. It's supposed to be a horror movie. I guess it's more of a psychological thriller or whatever they call those things. I showed up. I left my house. I left with my bike. I biked there. 10-minute bike ride. And it is my fault for leaving late. I was making a salad, just giant, just Tupperware full of salad, so I can have a lunch when I'm sitting in the movie. And no one's gonna check my book bag. They know I ride a bike there. They see I make a whole big stink of it when I get on my bike. I'm like, ooh, like Kramer entering. And I have a phone mount that the phone case is too big for. As you can see, I'm timing this. It's off because I started a little bit later, and I walk in there with my stuff, and no one's gonna check the book bag. Also, it's the middle of the day. Also, they're all teenagers. What are they gonna do? Stop a grown adult man from going to see a movie you already paid for? I walked into this movie theater. A guy had bought I like to sit up front in the not the first row, but the row after that, or if there's a third row, I like to sit in the third row. And because I don't like to be near people. A guy bought the middle seat to that row. I was so mad. So I walk in late. The movie's already started, which I love walking in late. Movie's already started, and I have my book bag, and it turns out my water bottle was not closed all the way. I bring a water bottle every time I take my bike. It was not closed all the way, and the top fell off, and water was spilling everywhere, like inside my book bag, on the ground. And I did not notice this until I took my bag off and I was going to sit down in the first row, and I went, that's too close. And then I turn around and I walk. I keep finding seats. I'm like, that's too close. That's too close to that guy. That's it. And I walk. There's only three people in this movie theater. Two people are sitting directly in the middle of the theater. So anywhere I sit is going to be next to them. Also, this is one of those artisan films. So it's purposefully in that smaller theater that has like 20 seats, which is ridiculous. So these people sit directly in the middle, and I gotta sit a row in front of them. Pop open my salad, try not to be loud. By the way, salad was just the crunchiest things I could find. It was kale, apple, carrot, and then quinoa was the soft thing. I was gonna put bacon in it, but I forgot. Oh, and broccoli, the sharpest broccoli in the world. Anyway, Infinity Pool. That's what I saw. That's the same salad I had when I just kicked the desk. Apparently, it's the same salad I had when I saw The Whale. And let me tell you, The Whale is slightly less disgusting than Infinity Pool. how many things. Infinity Pool is very grotesque and superliminal. If I'm using that correctly. It is a bright sunny day here in Atlanta, and I rode back. I only wore a flannel, didn't take a jacket in. Let me give you the the weather report for the day. And that's what I did. I also saw what did I see last week? Knock at the Cabin Door. It was great. It's great. It's good. It's not having a contract right now was really really helping out my movie going habits. All right, let's get on with this stories. The heck is wrong with me? I don't know if I'm actually going to do the first set of things I've had on here for several weeks. So let's just hop right into it. Episode 251. This first one comes from Deadline. CNN is going to air Bill Maher's overtime segments as part of his Friday night programming. As you know, CNN has been shifting what it's airing on TV. And now it looks as though that they're reaching into their well of extras, and they're going to show Bill Maher's Bill Maher's, what's it called? Real Time is a show on HBO. It's a late night show. Technically, it's a late night show. It's a show I do not cover, and because I don't watch that. My mom loves that show. I think older people love that show. Older people and like conservative liberals, if that makes sense. And anyway, so they've been doing this for a couple of years now, I believe. The Bill Maher's Real Time has been showing like an extra 15 or 20 minutes of the show that is on the cutting room floor, like that happens after the fact, and showing it on YouTube, which I think is a fantastic idea. I think, that's what's good about having a show that is on HBO, is that you can do something like that. Same thing for, all the other late night shows have now recently been putting all of their segments online, and I think every single segment's online, and now Seth Meyers has corrections. And I just think extra stuff is important and good, especially to retain an audience. That being said, CNN, smart move. This is a smart move for them. It airs at 11:30. This is the first one already happened. Chris Litch, he's a smart guy. He's the CEO of CNN worldwide, and it is. Obviously they shouldn't have a show on Friday night air because not much news happens on Friday nights, except for that balloon. We got to pop that Chinese balloon in the air. So there you go. All right. then CNN's getting into late night, so that's what it seems like to me. Move on. Peacock drops the free accounts. This comes from, I'm sorry, the last one it was on Deadline, written by Ted Johnson. This next one's from The Hollywood Reporter, written by J. Clara Chan, our good friend. Not my friend. Peacock, I'm not saying that to be mean. She's my friend. I've read a lot of her stuff. I don't know her, though. Peacock ends its free tier for new users. Peacock launched a couple of years ago, and it brought in 3 ways to watch Peacock. Free, and you get a limited selection of things. Free ads, which is $5, and you get almost everything but $5, and with ads. Free with ads too. So free with ads, $5 with ads, almost everything, and then $10 without ads, and you get everything. And the free section had about access to 10,000 hours of content, and now you can only get Peacock if you get the ad-supported or the ad-free. This seems to be not a last-ditch move, but this is definitely a move that that Peacock, NBC Universal rather, needed for its fledgling streaming service. Peacock said that it crossed 20 million paid subscribers, but expected losses, which amounted to about $2.5 billion in 2022, to widen to $3 billion this year. And it's way behind other streamers, including Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and the rest. That being said, I do, Peacock does have a good set of shows. Again, I've been harping this from the beginning. Peacock should have launched as an AMC Plus style add-on that people can get like on Prime Video, on Hulu. It did not make sense for this to be its own app, and it's still buggy for months. For months, there was an update that came out that every time you played anything, movie, TV show on Peacock, which is two things, movie or TV show, it and a lot of people experienced this, including me, ya boy, both on mobile and on the TV, the Google with Chromecast TV version, as well as the LG app too, LG TV app. Every time you played it, the audio description played a show or a movie, the audio description came on. So it'd be like, I would start Law and Order, and this is when I noticed it because I like to watch Law and Order, as one does. I play Law and Order, and then it would be like, the call sign would come up and go doom doom doom, and then somebody would go NBC logo coming up. And then the Law and Order's titles would start to be like, Law and Order, narrator speaks. And then before the criminal does all the things, then Benson walks down the hallway. She is mad. Like, who wants to hear that? Not I, said the cat. I don't know if that's true. Keeping on with the streaming service bit. This comes from Deadline, written by Dade Hayes. Apple and Major League Soccer throw the switch on season pass streaming venture. We know Apple was trying to get into sports. They failed on the football front, but they passed in the football front. Apple and Major League Soccer lit up their season pass streaming service today, bringing exclusive coverage of games and related programming to more than 100 countries and groundbreaking venture. The service costs $14.99 a month or $99 for the full season. For those who do not subscribe to Apple TV, for Apple TV subscribers, it costs $12.99 or $79 for the season. Sports are huge for streaming. That was one of the biggest stopgaps for people staying with cable companies. I stay with YouTube TV because I enjoy YouTube TV, and I split the money with a friend. Boy, oh boy, if we could get a third person in there, I could save even more. They failed on as I said before, they did not get the NFL Sunday ticket thing. But what they really wanted, it doesn't seem as though they it was possible, like they really want to me, and actually I guess this is a truth. It appears as though they didn't actually want the full Sunday ticket itself. They just wanted the ability to stream games the same way that they were able to stream games for the MLB this past season. The same way that what it feels like they were kind of aiming for the what's it called? Amazon Prime, the Prime Video Thursday Night Football, which was great this season. I watched a lot of Thursday Night Football, mostly because it was Thursday Night Football and games happen, and it's one or two teams I want to see, and I go, where is it? Oh, it's on Amazon Prime. And then I always go to the they had this special technology. And it was really great because they had three ways to watch. They had a main broadcast, they had a Spanish broadcast, and then they had the special technology broadcast. And then they always have Dude Perfect from YouTube would do something, or they would have an all women broadcast, which is really cool. I think they should continue doing that stuff. Any Hoosers, sports and streaming, it's going to continue happening, and everything's going to be split. Unfortunately, we're going to have. Sure, MLS might be coming to Apple TV Plus, but it's already on Peacock and it's already on Paramount Plus. And from what I gather, it's not the same teams, which makes sense. And also there's just hundreds of soccer teams, but you kind of don't want it to be fractured, because if you're paying for, it would suck to be like, okay, I like Star Trek Discovery, but it's over now, and I'm going to stop subscribing to Paramount Plus. But also, soccer's coming on, and it's this league, and I can't watch it on Peacock, which I already pay for, and I only pay for it for soccer, and it's just a whole thing. I don't watch soccer, but whatever. Hey, speaking of streaming, I'm going to continue on this little train here. This comes from Alex Weprin over at The Hollywood Reporter. Showtime and Paramount Plus merging rebrand planned. And it's already in the works. This has been happening for about a week and a half now, week and some change. Paramount Plus and Showtime is going to be renamed as Paramount Plus with Showtime, which is a stupid name. But this, I mean, this is so dumb. Like imagine having imagine HBO, which is home box office, the thing that we've known for decades, because we've known Showtime for decades. Imagine having HBO renamed HBO with HBO Max and Cartoon Network and Turner and the T-Nets. Anyway, both the Showtime linear pay TV channel and the premium tier of Paramount Plus will be rebranded as Paramount Plus with Showtime, which is the dumbest name. And in terms of speaking of HBO Max and the Warner Bros. Discovery, it is unfortunate that Showtime is now taking the same route as HBO and the rest of the HBO Max family. This comes from Hollywood Reporter Leslie Goldberg. Showtime removes short-lived originals from streaming platforms. So we've got shows like Kidding, Super Pumped, American Rust, On Becoming a God in Central Florida, Let the Right One In, American Gigolo, and so much more being removed from the Paramount Plus lineup, which was, as I think the day that they announced this was the day that all those shows were removed. Because at least with HBO Max, you had 2 days to finish your shows or whatever. They were taken off, and they're going to be moved to Fast Networks. Speaking of which is a free ad-supported television. I believe that's what it stands for. So that means HBO, just like HBO Max shows and things of that nature, Showtime shows and some CBS shows, I guess, are going to be sent to Tubi or sold. The rights are going to be sold to Tubi and Roku and Pluto TV in order to, even though Pluto TV is owned by CBS, which owns Paramount Plus, or Paramount owns CBS, whatever. And that's going to be a way for them to make just a little extra money. I don't know. I mean, in terms of something happening like that, it doesn't make sense to put a show over there on Tubi. I turn on, so I have Google Chromecast TV, as I previously mentioned. I turn on the TV and I get ads. It's saying here's Lovecraft Country, and here's the Rocky movies, and here's something similar to Kung Fu Panda show that you were watching on Netflix, which is a great show. It looks cheap as crap, but it's a great show. He leaves China, he goes to India. They don't mention any of the other Kung Fu masters, and Jack Black is there, and the gentleman that plays his father in the movie too, in the movies as well. It's a good show. It's a good show. It really expands upon the universe. I'm a child. I'm a little baby boy. Anyway, so I get the ads. I got an ad, and it said Lovecraft Country is on Tubi, and I load up Tubi, and sure enough, it's there. I think it's one of the one or two HBO shows on there currently. It's got HBO branding. I mean, but why would I want to watch a 50-minute show with commercials on Tubi without 4K? It's ridiculous. That's kind of the reason why we watch on these apps in the first place. Also, Netflix got spatial audio, and I tried it out, and I have a sound bar on my TV, and sure, it sounds different, but it doesn't sound better. Spatial audio on iPad, on Apple's devices, on the Mac is what I have right here. It's fine. You have to have the peripherals that work with it. Spatial audio is apparently on the Galaxy phones too, but I don't know. I've never experienced it. Anyway, what's the point of all this stuff? It's kind of like they're like, oh, they're paying $15 or $20 and we need to make it worth their while. Which, yeah, you should, but also don't charge me that much. Also, I'll pay that much. Let's keep going. Oh boy. Oh no. All right. Looks like Peak TV is here again. There's a huge moment that is happening right now. That is Peak TV. And it's been happening for a couple years now. FX's John Landgraf has been predicting this, I think, year over year since 2016. It truly feels like it. There are currently 599 original series. In 2022, there were 599 original series, with more to come. And it's not series that have aired lifetime. That's series that came out and that are still ongoing. But now that we are seeing things like HBO Max, like Warner Bros. Discovery and like Paramount selling their shows from their streaming services to other streaming services and really just canceling and limiting what shows are available, it is unfortunately, I believe, well, not unfortunately, but I think shows are going to be on a decline in at least the coming year. Peter White over at Deadline, see how I snuck in the name, says that writes that John Landgraf predicted that we'll see a decline in 2023. One of the indicators, White writes, is that Peak TV was coming to an end. Was a drop-off of new series in the second part of 2022. They were down 2% from 252 in 2021 to 248 in 2022, which is only 3 shows. Look at that math. 4 shows. Yeah, the dog agrees outside. I don't know if you heard the dog. It's so warm in here. It was like 68 degrees today. That like when I was biking back, I was sweating in that flannel. I could have taken it off, but I didn't want to. Also, I forgot that I left the Nova's outside doing her thing. She's probably gonna come inside screaming for dinner now. So Peak TV is kind of finally at an end, but now TV, Michael Schneider writes for Variety, says that we might be at a reset moment. And he signals shows like Snowpiercer and Minx being sold from their respective, or first of all, being renewed and then being sold off to different, excuse me. Let me do it one more time. I swear to God, I'll get this right. Being renewed and then being canceled and then potentially living at other places. TV for the past 3 years, I would just say during the pandemic, during the bulk of the pandemic, the early part, it is crazy to see how many shows just exploded, especially because of streaming. And it really seemed as though, if it seemed that movie theaters and Broadway plays were not successful because everybody was at home and they were watching TV and movies at home. Now we're at a part where, people are, it feels like we're heading into a recession. This isn't CNBC, so I don't know, but it feels like we're heading into a recession and people, in fact, I read a Wall Street Journal article this morning that said, yes, I still subscribe. A journal article this morning that said, that people were reaching into their savings from the early part of the pandemic when everybody was at home were dwindling, and it's mostly because of that recession and everything, and so that means people are going to start canceling subscriptions, or there's just not enough time to watch things because there's too many things to watch, or they're going to go outside, or they're going to go see a movie in a theater, or they're going to hang out with their friends, or any combination of those, and that's it, nothing else. So the landscape is changing, and now we're seeing cable companies. Excuse me, we're seeing cable companies. We're seeing studios kind of go back on their words. We're seeing Minx was canceled, and then it was renewed and then canceled, and then now it's being brought back at Starz. So it was renewed at HBO Max and then canceled and everything. And and Chad, I think, is the season 2 of the TBS show Chad, because TBS or Warner ended all of the scripted stuff for TNT and TBS. Chad is now at Roku. Snowpiercer, I think, just came to an end on TNT. AMC Networks just slashed a bunch of AMC Plus shows, which had picked up. And a lot of shows are already shot, but now it kind of seems they're all being written off and probably never going to see the light of day. But now it kind of seems that HBO, when Warner Bros. Discovery made movies like the Batgirl movie and other TV shows and things that were canceled mid or post production, and they just weren't finished and they're scrapped and are hidden in the vault somewhere. Nova, I'm working. All right. It seems as though it is like they were kind of, I don't want to say martyrs, and I don't want to say they were the Christ figures to that, like to have to be the ones to actually do this, and it kind of like opened up a door to where Paramount could say, okay, well, Warner sold off, Westworld and Lovecraft Country and all these other shows to different places to make a little extra bank. We can do the same thing, and now AMC Plus is saying, hey, we can cancel things mid development and write it off as a tax thing. Yeah, let's do it. Which is, I mean, I think it's good for their bottom line, but that says, like, to the creatives, we don't have any faith in you. This is not going to be, like, we don't want to put money into something that we don't know is going to pay off. We'd rather have more Yellowstone, but that's coming to an end. Kevin Costner doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants to work on Horizon. Also, 5 years is good for a cable show. Come on, for a cable show that turned a network like Spike TV turned Paramount Network into one of the better cable networks, making it prestige, like how Breaking Bad turned AMC into a prestige network. Come on, Breaking Bad and Mad Men. Get out of here. Know where you came from. You took a chance on Yellowstone. Even though who's the guy, Taylor, has been working for years. And now just to take a look at this, unscripted shows have just boomed in the past year. In 2022, there were 849 total scripted shows and 1,175 unscripted shows, because they're easy and they're cheap to make. That's let's go back 11 years to 2011, where there's 257 scripted shows and 863 unscripted shows. I mean, it just seems as though unscripted has always been in the lead, mostly because you can just make it and churn it out. At some point, it's what's it going to take for these networks to not want to live like this? Because it seems this comes from Cynthia Littleton over at Variety. This is the last piece of news I got. Hollywood's next reckoning. Studios get real about runaway spending on streaming. Because there was a point, especially in 2020 and 2019, 2018, when other streamers or when new streamers or when companies who were thinking about streamers saw a place like Netflix and saw a place like Hulu and even Amazon Prime and just saw them booming. Amazon's got the rights for The Lord of the Rings and they're going to make a TV show, and in 4 years it's going to come out and everybody's going to like it, except for racists, because black people can't exist with orcs. Those are the same people that love the Oscar nominations every single year. There's no colored folks in Tar, so I can't see it. Infinity Pool's got 2 people of color in it, and it takes place in Croatia. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, Knock at the Cabin Door, it's got a gay couple, an Asian girl, a black lady, Dave Bautista's, I believe, Philippine. It's got a ginger. Come on. But spending was absurd. We would see, like, Netflix one year, I believe, I remember they did the, Nova, please. They did a whole year where it was like every Tuesday was a new comedy special. And then there was one year where they were having a new movie every single week. And now we're seeing, I think, and now, hold on, let me finish that thought. And now we're seeing them slow down with that stuff. Or we're seeing a lot of acquisitions where like Seinfeld comes to Netflix, it leaves Hulu, comes to Netflix, and it's a whole big deal. Friends goes back to HBO Max. I do think, I'm going to say it again, and now that I'm no longer employed by them, Warner Bros. Discovery, sell South Park back to Paramount. Just sell every bit of South Park. And it just, you bought it for $500 million, sell it back for $200 million. Let them have that. Don't worry about having South Park. And have all of South Park on one thing. But I think Disney has done it right with and Apple, and to some extent Apple. I think Apple and Disney have both done it right in terms of their streaming services. Now, the only thing I watch on Disney Plus is The Simpsons, which, as it turns out, is the most watched thing on Disney Plus. Probably because of me, because I'm watching it right now on FX. I'm like, it's crazy. Anyway, 2022 saw Warner Bros. Discovery as J.B. Parrott, the CEO and president of Warner Bros. Discovery Global Streaming and Interactive, saw WBD in HBO Max as the canary in the coal mine to make sure that they were getting rid of shows and projects that they just didn't need. It is getting so dark in here that the camera is having trouble picking up my beautiful black skin, baby. WB Discovery, Disney, Comcast, Paramount Global, and other entertainment conglomerates look to turn the tide of the red ink after years of heavy investment in streaming. The cable channels aren't doing so hot. Linear has basically evened out, and streaming is gaining on it. In 2019, the spend forecast for streaming was under $5 billion. Looks like it's $2.5 billion. But in 2025, in 2019, linear was almost $50 billion for spending, for TV spending, And now in 2025, the expected spending is almost equal. We're going to see close to a little over $40 billion for streaming, and about $52 billion for linear streaming. For linear television. Jesus. And then sports has even out about 30 billion, 25 to 30 billion for the from 2019 until the foreseeable future of 2025. Can't see past 2025. Consumers are spending more money than ever on home entertainment services, and that's been a success. The question is, why have profits collapsed? Says Benjamin Swinburne is a media analyst for Morgan Stanley. Streaming versus earning potential is not adding up, and they have to find out why, which is now why we have the introduction of these fast streaming services, because the free ad-supported television like Pluto, Tubi, and the rest, so that they can make some of the money back based on advertising. And it turns out a lot of people just don't want to pay for TV. Pluto's great. I think Pluto's fantastic. There's way too many commercials, but it gives you a wide breadth of things to watch, and it makes it feel like you're watching old-timey cable TV. You flip through the channels. Oh, a TMNT channel. Oh, Dora the Explorer channel. I'm going to name things that aren't for children. Oh, an America's Test Kitchen channel. Wow, I can watch Becker. I have Becker saved on my Pluto account, and I will never watch it. But I love me some dancing. There are 3,000 channels in the U.S. as of 2022. Excuse me, FAST stands for free advertising supported television. I think I said free. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. And Pluto has just grown, according to Paramount Global. Pluto has just grown. And these two things can work in concert. I would love to see, and I know there's an issue with super apps, wherein that's an app that, hey Google, turn on the living room lamp, please. A super app is something that, thank you, that exists mostly in China, where it's one app where you can do basically everything. You can pay for bills. You can, send people money. You can, I don't know, download stuff. I don't know, and I know Elon Musk wanted to do a super app for Twitter, where it's basically where you can do just a bunch of things that multiple apps should be able to do. And I get that. And Westerners have not been privy or really wanting to do that. And I think one of the bigger issues right now is that we're a little segmented. I think a super app would work for streaming. We're a little segmented when it comes to these types of these apps. And when do people who watch Pluto TV know that Paramount Plus exists? I mean, obviously they see the commercials, but the same thing goes for Tubi. Tubi is owned by Fox Broadcasting, so do people who watch Tubi know that? Hold on, let me say this: Tubi is a predominantly black streaming service. So do people that watch Tubi know that Fox Nation exists? Disney Plus and Hulu. I mean, should we merge should we merge these things together? Should Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN Plus be one app? Which I think ESPN Plus should be on for Hulu Plus. I think ESPN Plus should not exist outside of Hulu. Should Tubi and Fox Nation be one? Should Pluto TV and Paramount Plus be one? Should Amazon Freevee and Amazon Prime Video be one? Technically, they are, because I can watch all the Freevee stuff on Prime Video. And then we also have to worry about smart TV manufacturers, Sony, LG. They have their own streaming options, which is a fact. Sony, Samsung too. Samsung's got Samsung TV. Sony, I think LG has LG channels. I have access to both of those, and I don't watch them because they offer the same thing that Pluto offers. They have a Hell's Kitchen channel. They have a movie channel that shows truly Oscar-nominated movies from like 10 years ago. You want to watch Crash? It's 2004, but still. You want to watch Hustle and Flow, a movie I have on DVD. One of the last movies I had to watch for Bounce TV before they let me go. A week after they said they weren't going to do that. People are I think they're only going to continue. They're going to do that thing where people want to just pay for the one show when Stranger Things comes back on Netflix, and that's the only thing they want to watch. They're going to watch Stranger Things. They're going to pay for Stranger Things, and then that's it. They're going to take their money away after that. And we're going to see these fast streaming services grow because it's cheap. It's the fast streaming services are the reality TV of streaming. And we're going to see a lot more producing for those streaming services. That we're already seeing Tubi originals. We're seeing Tubi buy up very crappy. Go on Tubi. Go tubi.com or tubi.tv, whatever it is. They have hands down the worst streaming shows and the movies I've ever seen. Tubi, I'm pleading with you. If you give me $20,000, I will make you an Emmy, a Golden Globe contender, because I've seen the things that you buy, and it is crap. All the things, everything, every Tubi original is garbage, and I will make you contenders. I could have been a contender. I'll make you your On the Waterfront. Love my references. People love my references. They love them so much. Where's that going to put us? Where is that going to put us? Wherever everything's going to be made for fast? No. We're still going to see some things come out for the regular streaming services. We're still going to see things come out for cable. Because not one avenue has proven to be better than the other. That's why Yellowstone excelled. It wasn't because Peacock bought the streaming rights from Paramount, which was the dumbest thing. Paramount made two stupid mistakes in order to make just a little bit of dough. They sold the rights to South Park streaming until 2025 to Warner Bros. And then they had Yellowstone's on Peacock. That's ridiculous. Two of the biggest. That is the dumbest thing. But now we're going to see, Yellowstone excelled on Paramount because people and the older generation, people in middle America, people who still have to pay for cable because streaming is not feasible because the internet is so bad in Topeka, Kansas, or Billings, Montana, that cable's their source of entertainment. And then they go, oh, what's this Yellowstone thing? Whoa! Kevin Costner? Prestige? We saw the daughter's butt? She was in the bath in the middle of the ranch. I've seen 4 episodes of this show. It's a good show. I mean, truly. I'm watching Justified, so I can only handle one cowboy show at a time. Justified's great. Oh, my God. Timothy Olyphant's so cool. All right. I've been talking for too long. Listen, if you like what you heard here, and I don't know why you wouldn't, head on over to cpluscomedy.com, where I'm talking to comedians. My latest interview is with Chase O'Donnell. She's great, wonderful, very funny, very nice, and yeah. So we're talking about her new album, People Pleaser. It's also going to be a stand-up special. It'll come out. The interview will come out on this feed, I think, like truly 10 minutes after this episode comes out. If you want to see a video version of that interview, as well as accompanying video version of this show, you can see the light lit. You can see the sun set as I'm sitting here recording this show. You can see me get darker, baby. Now I've got a ring light on. And I've got a fill light. I know how to do this. YouTube.com/C+Comedy. What else? Instagram, Twitter. Oh, yeah. Premiere Show News Time on YouTube.com/C+Comedy. It's like the Daily Show, except worse. We've got 2 new podcasts. One has not launched yet, as I said it would 3 weeks ago. But it will. I promise you it'll come out this week. I promise you. It's just so hard to sit down and record because I am so tired of talking. The first one is called LinkedIn Logs. I'm going to try to do my best to become a LinkedIn influencer, as I call it. And the other one is called either Late Night. I have 3 titles for this show. So it's either Late Night Lately, This Week in Late Night, or the Late Night Show. So it's the Late Night Show. I think those are all great titles. Whatever I decide, the RSS feed will be up soon. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, @C+Comedy. Me on 3 of those, not TikTok, @ChadBlackWhite. Nova. Jesus, I'm almost done. Rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends about all the podcasts in the C+ Comedy world. Thank you so much for listening. I am going to press the outro song here.